To you, I get all tongue-tied. Want you to know me, but I'm way too shy. I can't just go around admitting that it's you I like. I wish that I had guts enough to flirt a little, but I'm too scared I'll fail. I wish that I could listen to the voice inside me, a voice that always says, give it a go, don't waste your time, 'cause you're running out. Give it a go and ask around, only takes one try, yeah. Even if she tells you no, then at least you know. So give it a go, give it a go. I just can't read you when you pass me by. Sometimes you look my way and say my name and I turn around, but when I see you, you just walk on by. It's like you wanna talk but get caught up by your own mind. I wish that I had guts enough to flirt a little, but I'm too scared I'll fail. I wish that I could listen to the voice inside me, a voice that always says, give it a go, don't waste your time, 'cause you're running out. Give it a go and ask around, only takes one try, yeah. Even if she tells you no, then at least you know. So give it a go, give it a go. Oh, oh. Let it know, let it know, let it know, let it know. Oh, let it know, let it know, let it know. Yeah, just give it a go. Let it know, let it know, let it know, let it know. Oh, give it a go, give it a go. I wish that I had guts enough to flirt a little, but I'm too scared I'll fail. I wish that I could listen to the voice inside me, a voice that always says, give it a go, don't waste your time, 'cause you're running out. Give it a go and ask around, only takes one try, yeah. Even if she tells you no, then at least you know. So give it a go, give it a go. Oh, oh. Let it know, let it know, let it know, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Welcome back to another warm-up show with the hockey coach, your coach Francis Zerklid for the beautiful country of the Thailand. And we have to go all the way to Toronto, Ontario to find the co-host of the evening. Mr. ENORTAP is in the house tonight on the Thursday, November 3rd, 2022. Welcome back, Mr. ENORTAP. Hello, Hey, go. Mr. Nortap just back from his happy hour, 5 to 6 in Toronto downtown.
Oh,
They just hit the house at this moment, ready to rock and roll. Busy night. This is the first time, I think this is the first evening, Mr. Nortap, we have the most game under prediction. So going to start very early,
13.
honestly. And I have a couple of news to talk about tonight. So not on the outset, but just some kind of conversation we can get before we start a little bit earlier with 13 game on the program, Mr. ENORTAP.
You got it, Coach. It's a big night tonight. A lot of good games.
Exactly about this. Well, first of all, we want to welcome a couple of people already knocked the door. Roger opened the door. Mr. Jose Duarte, moderator, the Hockey National Show, is in the house from upstate New York.
Hey, Jose. How are you?
And Miss Kelly Zerkley from Ontario, back in the house tonight.
Miss Kelly, how are you?
The informateur, reporter, Mr. R.J. Calabro is in the house, Mr. Nortap.
Way to go, RJ.
From Finland, directly from Finland, Tampere, or something like that. Jarmo Virtanen is in the house.
Yarmo.
From Texas, everything is big. He's waiting for the big game tonight against the Edmonton Oilers. Here's New Jersey Devils really faced the biggest challenge of their season. Mr. Joseph LANHAM is in the house.
Joseph, welcome.
Notre ami, directement de la belle province de Québec, Mathis Asselin, de retour avec nous ce soir dans la belle maison de Warm Up Show. Welcome back, Mr. Mathis Asselin. Glad to having you aboard. Mathis. Hopefully, this is going to be not the next time, long time, but maybe short time, Mr. Mathis. Notre ami, back in the house, Mr. Marc Bourget. Bourget is in the house.
Hi, Mark. How's it going?
Joseph Lam said, notre friend Ryan Reynolds want to buy Ottawa. The Deadpool owning the Senator. That would be awesome. How about that one there?
Yeah, so much for Justin Bieber.
A couple of buyers show up who mentioned their name about the possibility that by the Ottawa Senator. Dawson Sport Corner podcast back in the house, Mr. Nortap.
Dawson, how are you?
Always a pleasure to having Mr. Dawson in the house. For sure, the likes is increasing a little bit more. That's awesome. Denis Rodrigue, de retour de maison. Le soir, welcome back, Mr. Denis Rodrigue.
Hey, Denis. Ça va?
We're going to talk about this a bit later. CDIMI 13 is in the house tonight.
Welcome, C.
Welcome back, Mr. C. Thanks for having me. Directly from Calgary, Mr. Randy Walkman is in the house. Welcome back, Randy.
Randy didn't
from Laval. Here we go. Now we know to remember this one. Mr. Nortap is from Laval, so we have to be sure we get this one over there. What about our friend Rick Bengal from Halifax? Here we go. Welcome back from Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Salute, Rick. Welcome aboard.
Hey, welcome back. Our friend Pete Martin is in the house tonight.
Pierre, welcome.
Sometimes you have to call 911, Mr. Nortap, if you need emergency. But if you want to call your friend, you have to call 801 because Mr. F is in the house tonight.
Hey, Faye, how's it going?
Always glad to having you, my friend. Liberty looking good, Dawson. We talk about Dawson Sport. Now we have to talk about the Dawson Gamer 2010. Back in the house, Mr. Nortap.
Welcome, Dawson Gamer.
Look like Nortap is going to buy the house. We have to sell his car, first of all, and then he can buy the Ottawa Senator, Mr. Nortap. And then we have 9 likes about this one there. So don't forget, guys, to click on the like. That'd be awesome. First of all, Mr. Nortap, we're going to start right there. You're going to give us, everybody wanting to do his own prediction, what they have to do, Mr. Nortap. We have so many difficulties, rules. The biggest rule is what, Mr. Nortap?
There's nothing difficult, Coach. It's write down, email your predictions for each of the games every night to HNLSwarmup@gmail.com, which you see right in front of us. and I will respond to you once I receive those and record them.
You're absolutely right, Mr. Natab. That's easy. If you want to do it, if you want to put your name at the bottom of the graphic right there, if you want to join the party bus, this is the biggest party bus we don't have since the beginning of the season, Mr. Natab. Wow, Marco, Yamo, ENORTAP, Marc Bourgier, the coach, following by Fernando Tavares from Portugal. Rogers, you don't know what to do anymore. We have too many people to pick up. Yann Gionnet, Pierre Martin, Kelly, she's another one. Randy N finally get out of the jail, following by Randy W. That both Randy show up yesterday, and Roger L. Are all inside of Mr. ENORTAP, the party boss. Here we go. Let's celebrate. Have a great time, a great run. Here you go, Roger. Start the bus. Oh, Yamu bring the tuna inside the bus. Kelly bring the drinks. But we are over budget right now tonight because we don't expect too many. So the budget of the week about the bus is over, Mr. ENORTAP. We have to figure out for next week. Hopefully not many people can win the next couple of days. But look, it's going to be a great time inside the bus. And the only way you can get there, honestly, you have to be the best score prediction of the night. Not the score, but the prediction of the team winning. And for me, it's the first time, Mr. ENORTAP. I knocked the door. Hopefully, it's not going to be the last time. And
remember 2 nights ago, you almost hit the hat trick?
Yep.
I almost hit the hat trick last night, too.
Yeah, you almost hit that one over there. That's from the ENORTAP.
Scores with 4 seconds.
I know.
Otherwise, I had them predicted.
Yeah, that's fun between you and me. I have to admit that you was only 2 games. Me was 12 games. No, it was 3 games. It was Monday night.
Yes, it was 3.
It was 3 games. It was an extra game. That is more difficult about that one over there. But I thought you go to get it, by the way, because I thought, but another empty net create that kind of problem, maybe turn that. So that's what's happening, Mr. ENORTAP. About this, going to see the jail a little bit later for sure. And then we have a Pedro Party bus. You can have your hockey stick at the back. Yeah, you can have a game inside the bus. We have enough room about this. Coach, that would be and the only time I would be on the little board. But you always start some point, Mr. Randy. Secondly, have confidence you're going to get more often. Our friend, Mr. ENORTAP, directly from Bangkok, Lester Choi is in the house. I think Lester is prepared for the hockey tournament in Bangkok. I don't know if it's this weekend. Maybe Lester, you can tell us a little bit more. They have a hockey adult tournament in November, but maybe he's there. Lester like the party in Bangkok, so he's pretty sure right now he's maybe a couple of days before the tournament, maybe 1 week. Who knows? We'll definitely to catch up with him. So it would be interesting about that one over there. So that's what we had, Mr. ENORTAP, about this one. But we have to nail the couple of news around the league. That's what we do at the beginning of the show, Mr. ENORTAP, NHL news. And then we have an update for the injuries we're going to bring right away at the beginning. First of all, the Montreal Canadiens suddenly, that enough, got squeezed on the door. And he looked like he's stuck in the elevator. I don't know. We're looking for him right now. But that enough is an injury reserve for the Montreal Canadiens. Really strange about this. I'm going to talk about this the next couple of minutes.
Very strange.
And then we have Minnesota announced Ren Hartman is going to be out for the Wild. This team is getting more injuries, Mr. ENORTAP. We talk about GRENIER, you talk about Foligno, talk about Hartman, and they have another one I cannot remember. And they have to play 11 forward, 7 defensemen for the next game to play. Then the Boston announced the defenseman Faubourg is out. McEnroy is getting very close to come back in the house, Mr. ENORTAP, for them. And then Montreal Canadiens announced they return tonight. Joel Edmondson in, Chris Whiteman out. Edmondson played with Jacky at the right defenseman. Jacky That shocked my
That's a
my
good pair.
life right now, but something I don't understand. But and then we have Dadonov out for an injury. So starting with Dadonov, Mr. Natap,
What?
health
Yeah.
is crashed Saturday night, right?
Argument on.
Sunday is on a treatment.
Yes.
Monday he have a virus.
Treatment.
Tuesday
Yes.
is still on the virus. He met whatever it is. Wednesday he practice. Thursday morning he practice, and then afternoon he got the flu, and now he's on ER.
Unbelievable sequencing of events. But what's at the core of this, coach, is since the end of the weekend, and this led to that whole incident with Martin St. Louis, sort of getting upset at the question that was asked of him about his well-being, was the fact that his agent went to Ken Hughes to sort of complain about his ice time and that things weren't working out here in Montreal. So I think that they've had a conversation since. I think they understand each other's predicaments. I think a lot is not being said here, and this could be, just part and parcel of that. But we're going to see some kind of trade happening over the next few days. Is my take on this.
What about the édicité of the Montreal Canadiens about Dadonov go on ER?
Yeah, I just don't know all the ins and outs in terms of what's allowed to be done. Like, do they have to go through a medical to approve them on going on the IR? I don't know how that works. I'll be honest with you, but you're right. It does present an element of credibility or lack of credibility, but there could be circumstances around this that may have forced them to go this direction
Oh
that
yeah,
we
they
don't
have to
know
go
about
that
yet.
way for sure. They have to. They have
Yeah.
their easy way. Now you can. I can tell you one thing about this. So I call Gary Bittman. He just said to me, he said, "Look, sometime team call me, and I'll give them a chance to fix their problem for about a couple of days. And then after that, I cannot extend more. So they have until next Tuesday, Mr. Natap, to fix the problem with that enough. And that's the reason happening. So sometimes team fix their own problem about a salary cap and everything like that to be sure it's just a short term. That's a,
Yeah.
I feel it's something happening more what we expect in NHL.
In all fairness, there was an issue that he did pick up a virus. That's not fabricated. I've heard it from multiple sources that he did have when he sat out this
Oh
the
yeah,
last
he
game.
was he
He
was
did have a
sick after that.
virus.
He was healthy
Yeah,
scratch, and then he got the virus after that. That was
he got a
confirmed
virus. Yeah,
for sure. So it was not a fake. It's just a fact. Like now they put him on
right.
ER retro to October 31. It's just by the time to figure out okay what you do with him. He's going to be the next one out of the line for the Montreal Canadiens. We'll just see what is going to happen with him, Mr. Enartap.
Well, I think we've seen the last game in Montreal, anyways.
Definitely about this one. Then we want to welcome Stu Pinazo.
Hey, Stu!
Following by Steve G. Welcome
Hey,
aboard.
Gary.
And then Eric said it's a computer virus. I like that one over there. And Dawson just sent his prediction. Thanks so much, Dawson. Glad
We have
to
a
do that.
newcomer.
I appreciate that. And see, Mr. 30,
Way to
c'est
go, Dawson.
KHL bound possibility about this one there. You really nail it about this. He could be happy about that one over there. And Kelly said, I have the right score. So I don't know if your name is there or not. If it's not,
No.
it should be there.
I sent it into DeWitt and Delorier, and they confirmed she was off by 1 goal.
Here we go. So she confirmed about that one over there. Maybe she talk about the game for Toronto, Mr. Natap.
Yeah, it was the Toronto game.
Okay. Fernando back in the house, Mr. Natap from Portugal.
Fernando. Welcome.
All right, Mr. Natap. What is the biggest
ready?
subject went out in NHL in the last 24 hours?
Oh my goodness! To me, it's still these injuries. I
No,
know
I
last year.
want to cut you. I
Sorry.
have a bigger
Yeah, yeah.
subject. So you have a biggest subject in NHL for last 24 hours. So my question is, I know you talk about impression, but um, what is biggest news right now in NHL become viral around the internet?
Is it Matthews hit yesterday?
Matthew's behavior,
Yeah.
Mr.
Oh,
Natap.
yeah. I figured.
So tell us what happening and what you think and what you're feeling about the Austin Matthews chicken.
Well, I didn't. I'll be honest with you, and I think somebody in the chat mentioned this earlier. I wasn't crazy about that hit that he put. He had a two-handed stick, and he went right for the head of the. I don't. The name escapes me now. On
Connect me.
Philadelphia, Konechny. That's right. And it looked like he wanted to instigate a fight or whatever the case might be. That didn't materialize, which in and of itself doesn't surprise me, but I thought there'll be some more reaction from Philadelphia. But I wasn't impressed with that. It reminded me of last year when he had that suspension against Darlene of Buffalo with the same kind of hit, except that was in front of the net. So I'm just not liking. I'm not liking a lot of the body language that I'm seeing, and some of the remarks. Are just very contrarian to what creates team concept and team chemistry. And I know they won yesterday, but you beat a Philadelphia team that was on a back to back with their backup goalie in that.
So here's the situation, Mr. Natap. So the puck get out of the zone, and then the Matthews push Konechny. Konechny
Yeah.
respond with a slashing.
Yes.
Matthews respond with a slashing, back and forth, both of them, and then they skating back checking a little bit, and then Matthews spearing Konechny. At that moment, Konechny dropped the glove. Matthews don't do anything about this one there. And then he take a 38 years old jumping in the back of Konechny to stop this to be sure nothing happened to Matthews. During that time, Matthews, then you have Bunting join the party, and then you have D'Angelo, and you have about 7, 8 players party around the just pushing each other. At that moment, Zadmila and Matthews watching what's going on the ice. So Matthews, with his big smile, Italian side, he's smiling to the what's going on with there. So after that, everything's looking good, everything's fine out, everything like that. And then Konechny passed beside Matthews, and Matthews push again Konechny, and then Konechny tried to get him. At that moment, Bunting jumping over about him, and then Matthews go backwards, and then he's watching again what happening. So the biggest problem right now in NHL, a 6'4" versus a 5'7", right? It's almost like it's Chara versus Gallagher. So Matthews do absolutely nothing. Don't drop anything. Fire, is just start the fire twice with do nothing. It's just smiling and keep his glove, and he don't care about anything else. And that's what is the biggest problem at this organization about this one. That show a lot right now about Austin Matthews.
It does. It
Like,
does for me. And
you
I've
know what I
seen
mean?
it. It's coming on from. It's been coming on from. I'd say about a week and a half ago that I've seen this, and I realized there's frustration that's set in, but yeah, it's inexcusable.
I think for me, it show exactly what the locker room look like inside that organization, and that's what one of the reason why about this one. Yeah, no reason. If you don't want to do anything, don't start anything. Don't sparing um, Konechny, and that piss off Konechny. And Konechny show a
Yeah,
lot of character. Whatever is the size of the guy in front of him, he's not going to be everything like that. So really, not impressive by Austin Matthews. You can play hockey, fine, but that show exactly they don't have that kind of the passion with like the meanness inside of him at all. Like he's a passenger, would just enjoy, and that's it. And that's it. And for me, it's like about if you don't do anything, don't do anything. but don't start something and then you don't finish it. Like,
Yeah,
he will
absolutely.
beat Konechny. He's 240 pounds. So why not to do it?
Yeah.
Right? Crosby fight before, Ovechkin fight before. It will be nothing to no anyway. So at the end, it's just hide the great performance of the John Tavares yesterday, Mr. Nortap, a hat trick, but what a captain did show up yesterday. And for the Toronto Maple Leafs, they could not lose that game because this
Excellent
weekend we
game.
see the kind of team they are this weekend. Again, the Boston and Carolina, and they have to split the goaltending, everything like that. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a lot of red flag over there for them at this moment. It will be hopefully they can get out their situation about that one. So that's something we have to follow up for sure. I want to give you another information right there, and Randy Walkman is there. What do you think? Isn't that the time to split them? Huberdeau 5.8 game, Langham 5.8 game, and whatever play to 40 right there does not work. And Cabri is fighting right now, but Match and Penny have only 4 points. Whatever they are 5-3, it does not work right now. So what do you think about the situation with the Calgary Flame?
Yeah, I'm surprised that they haven't. I thought in the last game they did separate them at some point, if I'm not mistaken. But you're right. They've been together for most of the season from the start, and it just the chemistry doesn't seem to be there for whatever reason. So when that's the case, I mean, it's your duty as a coach to try to get certain players going, and maybe it's sometimes it's just realigning the lines and the players that you're together with on that line. You know, you have to do something because you can't have these two guys going with the lack of points that they're getting.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, they don't hit a lot of the road yet, so it'll be interesting to follow that. But I think it's some problem with the Calgary Flame. Whatever they are 5-3-0, Mr. ENORTAP. They really pissed off Sutter last game. They gave away that game again. The Seattle Kraken, but it's called 5-4 about this. And then Mr. Stu said that Ulmark injury severity. I thought it was Swayman.
It is Swayman, yeah.
It's a week to week.
Yes, but it didn't look very good. How his knee got caught between the post and on that play, it looked like it was pretty serious. But hopefully, it's nothing too serious because they can ill afford to have him out of the lineup.
Yeah. So that will be confirmed there. My last question for you. But first of all, two things. Cam Dalbat is back in the roster, so Cam back. Cam Dalbat going to help in the Ottawa Senator, and then
He's skating.
He's going to start Saturday night. Pittsburgh Penguin guys problem.
I think part of it. I mean, part of it is injuries. You can't deny that. I mean, having Letang out of the lineup doesn't help matters.
Are you talking
But
about Gwenzel?
well, Gunzel was earlier, right? He played yesterday. I think he even scored yesterday.
He missed 2 games.
Yeah, he missed 2 games prior to that, but he played the last game and scored. I see it problematic 2 things. Number one, Jari's not playing at the level that he has in the past, and number 2, the defense. I think when they lost a couple of their pieces, like Marino, and they lost Matheson to Montreal. I know they picked up a couple of other guys like Petrie and who else did they get from New Jersey? The name escapes me right now, but yes, Ty Smith. And I think it's a step backwards defensively.
Ty Smith playing American Hockey League.
Right. So now you take Letang out of the equation as well, who's your legitimate number one, and it's going to create problems because it's not from a lack of offense. They're scoring the goals, but they're just not keeping the puck out of their own net.
What do you think about the Letang at the end of the game against Buffalo yesterday?
I'm not aware of that. What happened?
So Letang is between the blue line, the red line. Buffalo Sabres at the face-off, dumping the puck all the way to the Pittsburgh defensive zone. And Christensen sat at the hash mark. And he beat Letang to recover the puck, and they scored the empty net. And Letang is just let it go, like he did not really care until today. Realize now there was not the speed of Christensen.
So let me get this straight. That misplay by Letang caused me the hat trick yesterday.
No, it was the one before that, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's inexcusable. I get that there's a lot of frustration. That's 2 games in a row now that they've had a significant lead, 3-1, and they've blown it in both cases, and in the third period, might I add. It's not a comeback that started early, so they're gonna. I know that they have the experience to get themselves out of this hole. I think they're better than what they're showing us, but that goaltending has to improve and the defense has to be much more solid.
You're absolutely about this. We want to welcome back Run with Kings 20. Welcome aboard. Miss Melissa Zabrin is in the house. We have Chicago Bear is in the house, and Hunter, all of 4. Welcome back inside the Hockey National Show. Thanks to be a part of the show tonight. And Yamo said 13-0. You get some pizza. No, Yamo, we got some wings. That's what we gave, wings for everybody. Got a 13-0 Mr. Tap tonight. And then finally, I want to mention to you, tomorrow, guy, only 2 games in NHL. But this weekend, Chicago, Colorado play on the afternoon. So we're not going to consider that game on the prediction tomorrow. So you have only 1 game we're going to do tomorrow night, Mr. Tap.
Right. And because of it, I don't know if we can, with 1 game, whether you can actually have bus and jail.
Now we're going to give up that one over there.
Yeah, for that day.
Yeah.
Because it's either you get it or you don't.
Well, I think it's time to clean up, Mr. Nat. I have too many people in the bus tonight, so we're going to clean up the bus tomorrow. And finally, they have a lot of people that was there on the week at the jail, so we decided to clean up completely. So Roger and Danny is going to be in charge with Luciano. I think we're going to send a moderator to clean up everything, Mr. Nat, during the weekend. So why not?
We should go.
Talking about the moderator, talking about the cleanup, Mr. Natap, since maybe the time to clean up the jail before we happening, because tonight we have only 1-1, and I think Kelly is going to be really happy about that. What are you talking about, Mr. Coach? But it's time, Mr. Natap, to change the name. And it's called the Richard Marlin County Jail, Mr. Natap, because what? He hit the hat trick. Do you know that?
Yes, I know that. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
He did the hat trick and is going to be the only one inside the jail, Mr. Natap, tonight. Alone, he lost his friend Randy Ann and Vinny for the last couple of days. And then Mr. Richard is going to be alone. Richard Mullen is the only one at the jail tonight. It's going to have a lot of great food for him. Of course, you have some leftover, Mr. Natap. But wow, this is really impressive. To see that. That's the first time. Can he become the first one in the history the Hockey National Show warm-up show and become get there for the full week? You never know.
See what happens with Richard now.
Well, you never know. We'll be interesting what he's going to look like his pick tonight. But let's say we have 13 games. We have 30 minutes to get there. Tonight we start the game at 8 o'clock, so we have an extra hour, so we get a little bit. And then because we have a 6 game per graphic, we have an extra one, Mr. ENORTAP. And I'm going to start with that one, so we're going to put this one out. The first game we want to talk about is the San Jose Sharks versus Florida, Mr. ENORTAP.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get the last one out of the way, I guess.
Yes. I think it was the easy one.
Yeah, why not? I mean, on paper, I think it's pretty obvious here. Florida, they're continuing a 4-game road trip in California. So even though Florida hasn't played well lately, I still think they shouldn't have too much difficulty with San Jose. I have a score of 4-2 for Florida here.
4-2 for Florida, so we're going to fix it very well, very soon, very quickly, Mr. Natap. So 4-2 Florida, I put 5-2 Florida. And one thing about Florida, guys, they look like the Toronto Maple Leafs last season. What are you talking about? The number analytics are really at the top. Goal sharing, shooting, expectation, everything like that. So one thing they does not represent is this one over there. So but they got beat by a small, like lower team in NHL so far. It's a little bit concerned, but not totally a big concern right now for that one there. And I apologize. We're going to start with this one, Mr. Natap.
So what are we going first? Carolina,
Tampa Bay. Marco, welcome aboard, by the way.
Welcome, Marco. It's I mean, Carolina's on a they go on a 1-game road trip here with Tampa. I mean, I like this matchup tonight. I think you're going to have two very stingy defenses going at it. The Hurricane have been off since Monday, and so they're looking to add to their current record as they've won 3 out of their last 4. And not to be outdone, the Lightning themselves have won 5 of their last 6 and seem to they're in the midst of a 4-game homestand right now, so they seem to have corrected their what was ailing them earlier on. In no part, I think, due to Cooper and what some of the conversations he's had with some of the players there, from what I hear. Carolina is 4-8 in their last 12 games on the road. That's the only thing that really kind of concerns me, whereas Tampa's 10-3 in their last 13 games at home. So the distinct advantage to Tampa for that. But I got to believe that the richer team here in terms of depth is Carolina, and they seem to have put the pieces together very well. And I like what I see from both their offense and their defense. I see the defense is chipping in a lot more and taking opportunities on the offensive side as well. So I'm going to take this one for Carolina by a score of 3-2.
But that's the way to start the good night, Mr. Natap. 3-2. All of us, we have the same thing. We have to welcome Mr. Tony. Welcome back in the house. We have TH back in the house, Mr. Natap. Marco Larabie is on the one. And I missed one, Tony TH.
There's a question for you, Coach.
Marco. Yep. Yep.
You should answer that one. How's KK doing in Carolina?
2 assists in the beginning of the season, Tony. And he's only one of the top 6. They have not many points. And it's funny, Mr. Natap, at his left, he have 9 points. On his right, he have 7 points. And he has only 2 points. So I don't know what's going on. He's the one start the play. I don't know. But he's played 60 minutes per game, Mr. Natap. The chance out there, he cannot capitalize on the productivity.
That's right. Okay, so next we have another enticing game in Ottawa here. The Senators return home after a 4-3 defeat at the hands of the Tampa Bay Lightning on Tuesday. Ranking in the top 15 in both goals for and goals against. The Senators are already off to a better start than they were last year with a 4-5-0 record. They are likely to improve throughout the season too, especially now that Talbot's starting to skate with the team and give them that defense, or not the defense, but the goaltending that they obviously sought this after this summer, when they picked up Talbot from Minnesota. Giroux has been as advertised. He comes in with that veteran experience, and he's been really leading the team and especially the youngsters on the team. The Golden Knights, on the other hand, what can you say? Look at that record so far, 9-2-0. I think that tells the whole story. They're just on a hot roll right now. They're in first place in the Pacific. They seem to be, for the most part, relatively healthy. So that's a good thing and something that they have to maintain. And boy, oh boy, they've been getting great goaltending out of both Thompson and Aiden Hill.
Yep.
They don't seem to skip a beat when Aiden Hill goes in the net. So I think this one's going to be a real tough, drawn out game. But I expect Vegas to win this one by a score of 3-2.
3-2. You stuck on the 3-2 tonight.
So far, yeah.
There you go. 3-2 for that one over there. And Vegas go tonight. I said 4-3 tonight, Mr. NORTAP. Forsberg versus Thompson. And we want to thank all the moderators in that chat tonight, Mr. NORTAP. And then we have to go to Washington against Detroit. Two teams, I don't know this. I cannot read this game.
I know. It's so tough. I mean, a definite advantage for Detroit that they're at home, I think. They're both coming off of losses, and they're going to sort of be looking to bounce back tonight. It may seem that it might seem that we're back in Detroit after seeing the final score of their most recent game, but it's important, to not to put too much stock into just one performance in particular, because prior to that game, they pulled off an incredible upset over the Minnesota Wild. So let's not be too quick to fade the Wings right now. They're a team that's been hit with some injuries, and especially up forward, and a couple players that haven't performed to expectations just yet. So I'm not ready to give up on Detroit. I think their goaltending has been good. Husso has in particular has been very good. Their defense needs some improvement, but they're also in the good area. Washington, what can we say about Washington? Like, this is a team that is given that their record is 5-4-2 right now. I think that's very impressive given
It's because the
injuries. Yes, you're right. His goals against and his save percentage has been very, very good. I think he's at 922 save percentage,
something like that. Yep.
or yeah. So, and he's somewhere in the low twos with the goals against. So that's been a huge help. But you wonder, with an aging team like this, until they can get some of their some of their injured players back and healthy again, you got to believe that the stats, which haven't been in their favor, the results have, but not so much the stats, it's going to catch up to them. And so I think tonight might be one of those nights. I'm going to take Detroit to win this game by a score of 4-2.
I need it again, Mr. NORTAP. I have 4-2 for you. I'm stuck with 4-3 tonight. I go. It's a lot of game by one goal tonight. And Mr. Comper is at 9-2-2 at 2.39.
2.39. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. And that takes us to Boston and New York. What a matchup this is going to be. You got Allmark and Shesterkin in net. The Rangers at home. Boston with an absolutely incredible run so far of 9-1-0. And given that they've had some of the injuries that they had, I don't know too many people that would have anticipated that Boston would have this kind of a record and leading in the NHL at this point. I think when we look back at this, you're going to have to think, you got two Eastern strong teams here, Eastern Conference teams that are going to meet. I think both teams have very stacked teams in terms of offensive and defensive players. They both have great goaltending. What can we say here? I think having Brad Marchand come back is a definite help for Boston and will aid them. But I don't know. I get the feeling that tonight the Rangers, they want to sort of send a message here. I think that they've had a few games prior to this that they were sort of surprised by, and they want to set the record straight. I think so, and at some point, Boston's got to come down to earth a little bit. So I'm going to take the Rangers to win this game by a score of 4-2.
4-2. I have 4-3 for you, Mr. Natap, about this one there. So 4-2 for you. And I go New York Rangers, guys. I don't know why I feel like 3-2.
Yeah, I think it'll be low scoring. I don't think they'll hit the 6, but
Yeah, a
even
lot of
though I said
people take
4-2.
Boston, by the way. And we
Yeah,
want to
there's a few.
welcome really same die right here. We have another one. We welcome. We want Alan Barnes, Mr. Natap, back in the house.
Exactly. Welcome, guys.
Yep.
Next, we have, of course, Montreal and Winnipeg. Winnipeg's been hit with a couple of injuries as of late. I think Stanley's out for this game.
Yep.
You
Eller.
know, Eller's still out. He's been out for a while, and you could tell, you can sense his absence, especially on the power play. They've put Wheeler back into the first power play line or unit, and he hasn't obviously been as creative or effective as Ehlers would be. So they missed that, and when you look at their power play percentage, you see that they definitely need that area to improve. Offensively, they've been very good so far. Montreal returns to the scene of the crime with Scheifele and Evans and what happened in the playoffs a couple years ago. We'll see if anything becomes of that. But I don't anticipate anything will materialize. The Jets overall, I think they've looked very good. I know they're 5-3-1, and that sounds kind of mediocre. But you got to realize 2 of their losses came at the hands of Vegas, and they were close games as well. So if they win even one of those, then they're 6-2-1, and that's much more impressive. Montreal, again, very pleased with their progress so far this year. I would not have anticipated that they'd be at 500 at this stage in the season. I am particularly interested in seeing. There's going to be obviously some changes tonight. I think 3 guys are sitting out. We said Hoffman. We talked about Dandanov being on the IR, and Weidman is out as well to bring in Edmondson and accommodate that. So this is going to be a tough game. I kept going back and forth, but I'm going to take in overtime. I'm going to take Winnipeg to win this one, 4-3.
Winnipeg. I'll be honest with you. If it's not Montembeault, I go with Montreal. But I still with Winnipeg.
4-2.
Yeah. Okay. I was going to go with Montreal. I think Montreal can win that W. They can win.
I think tonight. So too. Yeah, on the brunch we did discuss. I said that they would probably go 1-1-1 this week, so that's why I took the overtime here with the 4-3. I figured they'd get at least the tie out of the way here. But we'll see.
Randy, and welcome aboard. Yes, that'd be great if you can Randy. Put a score, Randy, with the winner of the team. That'd be awesome. And then Yamo confirmed Bennington versus Zorokin tonight.
Beautiful. Then that should be a good matchup. At least we hope. You got 2 teams now. I love the fact that St. Louis, even though they've been playing poorly lately, O'Reilly really took sort of the team and the responsibility of the losses on himself, onto his own shoulders. And that's, when you think about it, that's what a good captain does. Expect this guy to come out and give probably his best game of the season tonight. By the same and same thing with the whole team. I think that they will respond at home. By the same token, the Islanders have really done well lately, and I think that we're starting to see that same type of Islander team that we saw, 2 and 3 years ago when they went to the Western Conference Finals. The goaltending has been superb. The defense has been absolutely solid in many regards. I think they're starting to buy into the whole system, because at the beginning, when they started off losing, they were saying, well, no trots, and this is what happens, and now fire Lambert, and now all of a sudden, hey, Lambert's in the discussion for coach of the year. So I think the Islanders are the real thing. They're not a facade in this case. But let's see. There's a couple of stats here that I dug out. The Islanders are 5-2 in their last 7 games against St. Louis. They're 4-1 in their last 5 games. St. Louis are 0-5 in their last 5 games, and St. Louis is 1-6 in their last 7 games at home. But having said that, I gotta believe that O'Reilly speech is going to have an effect tonight. I would have gone with those stats and probably taken the Islanders, but I'm going to go with St. Louis to win in overtime by a score of 3-2, possibly a shootout.
I need it again, Mr. Notap.
Nice.
And
coach?
For some reason, Sir Corin will have one is his worst game of the season, Mr. Notap.
Oh, really?
Yeah. 4-3.
Do you know something that we don't know? Is that?
It's not good to stay too long in St. Louis, Mr. Notap. So, Zorgen is my winner, my trophy winner, but I expect tonight to have a difficult game, and then St. Louis is due. And that's the reason I don't perform at the fantasy hockey, Mr. Notap, because of my situation with the St. Louis Blues. If I predict the New York Islanders win the Stanley Cup 2 years ago, I could be wrong with the St. Louis Blues this season.
Oh, who knows? Who knows? We have Seattle and Minnesota here. It was a rocky start of the season for Minnesota, but it appears they're finally starting to round into the team that many projected them to be. They're winners of their last 2 games. Their offense has exploded with 8 goals over that stretch. We've seen the much better play out of Marc-Andre Fleury than what he started off with at the beginning of the year. He's only allowed 4 goals over those games, and he looks especially sharp in that Montreal game. He put aside 34 saves for a .971 save percentage, and I thought he was the difference in that game, because Montreal had some opportunities to score. They played well, especially early on in the game, but he kept Minnesota in there, and then they took over. Seattle, I'd like to say they surprised me, but I really like what they did in the offseason and some of the acquisitions that they made. They're a very pesky team. I think they've turned some heads in the league with that 5-4-2 start. They've also won their last 2 games, but at this point, you wonder how long that can go on. I think they're for real, and they'll stick around towards the lower portion of the division standings, but they're going to always be a tough team to play at all points. I gotta say here, like the Kraken, they're 6-20 in their last 26 games following a win. And that's what is facing them tonight after that win that they just recently had. So I got to go with Minnesota, especially at home. and Fleury in net, and it looks like it's Jones in net for Seattle.
Yep.
So I'm going to take Minnesota by a score of 5-3.
I'm telling you now, I almost read you about that.
Oh my gosh. I don't think you need me, Coach. You could save.
No, you
You could
get a
just.
lot of great information. So that's the reason we have a lot of people tonight. We want to thank everybody. Just Gaming back in the house. Welcome back, Just Gaming. Glad to have you aboard, Mr. Prediction. And then, guys, if you want to send us your prediction, this is the email at the bottom beside Mr. ENORTAP, hnls@walmart@gmail.com. You send us your score, and the team is going to win, and you're going to have your name at the bottom of the leaderboard and be a part of the prediction of that one over there. So, Marco said that Washington Capitals take information. I think that's a great point, Marco, about this. Washington struggled with a lot of injuries, so possibly they'll have to go to Washington, Mr. ENORTAP.
Yeah, we suspected that. I heard the same rumors a couple days ago. So hopefully something happens within the next 24 to 48 hours and that gets resolved, because it's not good to have that lingering on the team. Let's go to this game here, Coach. LA and Chicago. You know what? I'm starting to get upset with Chicago. Every time I don't take Chicago, they've been winning. And then I finally take Chicago and they go lose. It's hard. It's hard to read why they're 4-2. I think a lot of it has to be attributed to Stalock before he got hurt, and the fact that he was giving Chicago the opportunity to stay in games, and they were converting that with some of the key players that they still have on this team. I think we're going to see them slowly coming down in the standings right now with Soderblom in net. LA, I think, is throwing quick out there tonight. This should be a victory for LA in my eyes, and I'm going to go with a score of 3-2.
I saw 4-2. You missed the empty net.
Yeah, maybe.
I go more, man. I think Chicago tonight is going to hit the wall.
You might be right. Yeah.
So I'll be about this. And then Marcus 4-1 Los Angeles. But the people want to say, Mr. ENORTAP, thanks so much for your work you do at the warm-up show with all the information you do here.
It's my pleasure. Yes. Next game, we have New Jersey and the Edmonton Oilers. Coach, I predict this is gonna be the wildest game of the night, I think. Here you have two teams that have magnificent speed, both teams. And so I would not be surprised if we saw somewhere in the neighborhood of 80 shots on net between the two teams.
By the way, you said Edmonton versus Calgary.
No, the New Jersey game. Sorry. I was on New Jersey. My mistake. Okay. I have it in the wrong order.
That's all right.
Okay, let's. You want to do the New Jersey one first?
It's up to you.
Yeah, let's do that one since I started on it. It looks like it's Vanacek going up against. I think it's Campbell. Last time I checked, I don't know if they've changed. If I were them, I would have gone with Skinner because I think he has the hot hand. Maybe somebody can confirm that for us. The Devils,
Max Strom. Okay, no, I'm sorry about that. I apologize.
Oh, the Devils, they're continuing their Western road trip in Edmonton after a 5-2 victory over the Canucks on Tuesday. They look like a completely different team than last year. Maybe not so much offensively because I think, like I said, they bring such speed to the game. And if don't look now, but with their 7-3 record, they happen to be first in the Metro Division right now. And, I got to give kudos to Coach because he did say not too long ago that this was his dark horse in the East. And the other thing he said was they're going to hit 100 points. And I said, well, I'll eat my cowboy hat if that happens. So We'll see. Hopefully, they'll finish with 99, and and I won't have to eat that hat. Um, I I don't know. I'm not going to go on with saying too much about this game because I anticipate this probably to be one of the most exciting games tonight, and I think it'll be high scoring. I think the over and under on this was 7, and I think there's going to be 10 goals in this game. I'm going to take the Edmonton Oilers because they've just been very hot, especially their offense, and I'm going to take them to win 6-4, especially since I just saw Yarmo confirm that it's Skinner tonight, so that gives me a little bit more confidence in my prediction.
6-5, Mr. Nata, for Edmonton. Everybody expect high scoring. We want to welcome back William Snyder. And the deal, no deal, but we have the real deal is in the house, Mr. Nata. And fan of the hockey is in the house. So everybody back. Don't forget, guys, to click on the likes. And let's move on with 3 more games with a couple more minutes to go.
Okay, so again, keeping it short, the Kraken, they pulled off a major comeback against the Flames a few nights ago. Even though I thought, Calgary kind of controlled most of that game. But like I said, they're a pesky team. And, Calgary, I hope, learned their lesson from that. Tonight, they take on a very desperate Nashville team. And I know the last 2 or 3 games we've been saying that they're very desperate and they need to win. And they've been losing. And I don't anticipate tonight to be any different, I'll be honest with you. Markstrom against Saros, but Saros has not been his usual self, whereas Markstrom has. And I think that alone should be the difference tonight. So I'm going to take Calgary to win this game by a score of 4-2.
4-2. For Calgary, I go with Calgary, Mr. Natap, by the score of 5-3.
5-3.
Randy go with Nashville, and Marco go with under with Edmonton, and 5-2 Gamin, and that's what we got so far.
I think Randy went with 4-0, if I'm not mistaken.
There we go. Okay. We have the Canucks versus Anaheim Ducks.
Oh my goodness!
So at the beginning of November, Mr. Natap, how much money do you put? And when you said Anaheim's going to be over the Canucks and the standing,
I wouldn't have put any money on it.
But that's what you did very well. You saved money, because that's happening right now.
No, absolutely, and the Ducks have been doing exactly what I anticipate they would have been doing, and there's reasons for that. But 2-6-2. You're talking the first 10 games already, and the Canucks are in the position that they're in. Not a good sign in Vancouver. Tonight, I think we're seeing Gibson, and it looks like it's Martin and not Demko in net for Vancouver. I know they put a couple of victories together, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that Mikhailev's been back in the lineup. Also, Quinn Hughes has been in, and that's helped Vancouver. But I think some of the problems that they've experienced are still underlying here. And I'm starting to see a little bit of quit in this team. I hope I'm wrong, because I would love to see Vancouver do well. I was rooting for them all year last year to get into that playoff spot. And I think they'll respond tonight, especially since Anaheim has had a couple of really good games in which they've pulled off some points. So I'm going to take Vancouver to win this game by a score of 5-2. But I'm a little bit weary with Martin in that, but we'll see. He might surprise us.
You have a good year so far, Mr. Natap.
Yeah, it hasn't been bad, and they can't rely on Demko as much as they have.
Yeah, I'm sorry about this. What was the song last year when he said Boudreau?
Here we go. Here he is. Bruce, here he is.
They changed this year.
Bruce, there he goes.
No, they have a new one.
What is it?
They add the word Bedard.
Bedard, here he comes.
Here we go. That's happening, Mr. Notap. It's better. It's
Well,
better. And the Vancouver Canucks next year.
well, you know what? They still have some good talent on this team. If they realize that they've fallen off the map by at this rate that they're at right now, they'd be better off thinking, and again, you don't go out there and actually aim to do this, but they'd be better off getting a low pick this year, or sorry, a high pick, and then next year coming out fresh with the talent that they have and whoever they pick up. So
Yeah,
we'll see
absolutely
what
right.
happens. We'll see what happens. I don't think it's in them right now, but if we wait another 2 or 3 weeks and they haven't improved much, we're going to see that direction for
I
Vancouver.
just want to confirm, Mr. Notap. I think
Yeah,
we don't give enough credit for Spencer Martin. He's another goaltender, started in the initial at 26 years old. In 11
26.
games so
Yes.
far, it's 4-2-5. He loved the overtime. He loved the suspense in hockey. He have a
Uh,
2.55, a .924, and this season into game 101 at 2.43 and .92 in 6. That's the reason
well,
he
thank
become
you.
the backup goaltender over there.
I wasn't aware, but thank you for that. It makes me feel a little bit more confident with my selection now. Our last game, Coach, Dallas and Arizona. Other than being on the road, there's not much going against the Stars in this spot. I think, truthfully, there's not much that you can say is going for Arizona. The only thing that's kind of been a saving grace for them has been whenever Velmelka comes in net, which he isn't tonight. It's apparently Wedgwood against Ingram, so it's a battle of the backups. Um, but he's the only one that gives Arizona a fighting chance, and I don't think they're going to get that opportunity tonight. Dallas has just been very hot team, and their offense has been much more diversified and spread out than it was last year. And it's good to see guys like Sagan contributing offensively and getting that second line going. It's also good to see the leadership that we're seeing out of Ben as well. The defense has been fairly good. And, once Ottinger's back in net, this is a hard team to beat. So I'm going to take Dallas in this one by a score of 5-1.
Oh, 5-1, Mr. Natap. Suddenly, Mr. Natap, we have a problem, Watson. I took Dallas 5-1.
No problem then.
But it's going to be a
You
boring
scared me
night,
there.
Mr. Natap. We have
I
the
thought you
same
were
pick
going
tonight.
Arizona for a second.
We have the same pick all tonight, Mr. Natap.
Yeah, what are the chances of that?
So that's what we got so far tonight, Mr. Natap. Will be interesting to see what's happening tonight between the 13 game. I can't wait to have all the results for everybody. Look like we did not do a lot of surprise. We won most with the favorite players of our favorite team for tonight. Most, I think, I have 2 games. I'm not sure. 3 games. The Montreal Canadiens, Winnipeg, the Boston Winnipeg Jet is really my other concern, and the Carolina Tampa Bay are my other concern. If I can recall it, I think I have another game about
Edmonton. I'm looking forward to that Edmonton game. I really
Edmonton.
want to
Yeah,
see that one.
but I think Edmonton is going to be fine at home for
Yeah.
me. So that would be interesting. Oh, the game between Washington and
St.
Detroit.
Louis. Oh, okay. I thought you were going to
About the
say St.
prediction about
Louis.
that. So tonight, Mr. Nathan, was the biggest show about the viewers show up tonight. We want to thank everybody to join us tonight. We'll be back in 60 minutes to do the game play-by-play Montreal Canadiens versus Winnipeg Jet. The game starts at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Tomorrow night, guys, is going to be an easy night. We have only one game. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about, Mr. Natap, the NHL news, but more about the disappointment and the surprise team. I'm going to get fun result about the 13 game tonight. And same thing for the players. So come back, everybody, tomorrow night. Maybe not talking about precision, but more about NHL. You can ask question. You put the letter Q, and you can talk, ask a question to ENORTAP and myself to say about that. And we want to thank at the last minute, Mr. Jeffrey Corey, directly from Taiwan is in the house, Mr.
Welcome,
Natap.
Jeffrey.
And happy morning for the people like me. I'll wake up early in the morning. Beautiful day in Thailand, Mr. Natap. But anything you want to add before we get out here?
No, let's get these games underway.
That'd be
Let's
interesting
go
to see
see
what
it,
happening, Mr. Natap. But before we leave, we want everybody, of course, you are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have
The GOAT.
greatness inside of you. Thank you so much, everybody, for your participation tonight. Mr. Natab, you did like you do every single time. You bring some great nuggets, a great knowledge, the great information for each game, and people enjoy the most. Hopefully, we are getting more people to have all the information. Until the next time, of course, be well, be healthy. Find a way not only to dominate your day, but find a way to dominate the second half of what?
You're 20, 22.
Peace. Say it again. Have an amazing, great night, Mr. Natat. Look forward to seeing you until next time.
Good night, Coach. Good night, Hockey Nation.
I need to open my eyes and get a touch of that reality. Don't want another surprise.